What's up, everybody? It's your boy Pan1cKnife here with theawfulgamer.com and TGN, and today I'm going to be showing you a pretty sick boss fight here in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Or, at least I would have been, except if the Stop Online Piracy Act, better known as SOPA, passes the House of Representatives and the Protect IP Act passes through the Senate, you won't be seeing anyone making gameplay commentaries. You won't be seeing my face on YouTube. You won't be seeing anybody on here's faces on YouTube. In fact, you won't be visiting YouTube at all. If SOPA makes its way through Congress, huge community-run websites like YouTube, Wikipedia, Reddit, Justin TV and Twitch TV, Facebook and Twitter, they're not going to be able to really do what they do right now. They're pretty much going to be either forced to shut their doors or significantly change the way things are done. And if this bill goes through, we have no one to blame but ourselves. Today is a pretty significant day for SOPA opponents. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know all about the so-called blackout day where Google changed its logo, Wikipedia and Reddit shut down their sites, and our cause is finally kind of all over the news. And that's great, man. Love to see it. But I'm still not sure everyone really understands why this bill is dangerous and how it's going to affect us all as YouTubers and as Americans in general. Let's take a look at the most dangerous aspect of SOPA, which is the way it's going to be implemented and enforced. Essentially, this bill is designed to allow for the quick takedown and domain seizure via DNS routing of any site that's found to be infringing upon copyright. Now, what constitutes infringement? Clearly, providing copyrighted material without permission is infringement. But what about if one of your subscribers posts a link somewhere on your channel that has pirated content on it? Are you responsible for that? What about the gameplay itself? As anyone who's ever posted a video to YouTube knows, the copyright game is a huge sea of gray, and there are few black and white answers as to what copyright infringement really is in the digital age. What's dangerous about this bill isn't the goal that it has, which is to curb infringement. It's how it handles people who are suspected of infringing on copyright. Let me give you an example. Check this out. You like this song? It doesn't matter, really. The thing is, the song was licensed to us directly by a friend of the Awful Gamer. His name is DJ Sugarnaut, and he works with Inomezzo. Now, if DJ Sugarnaut directly licenses us to use his tracks in our videos, which he has, it's perfectly and 100% legal to use his music in our content. That's kind of obvious, right? Here's the thing. DJ Sugarnaut doesn't say that you can use his stuff. He says that we can use his stuff. So, let's say somebody hears the track, recognizes it, and files a copyright complaint against our site. The DOJ would pretty much be well within their right, and some might argue it's their responsibility under SOPA to take down our channel and reroute the DNS servers leading to our site. By the way, this is the same way that dictators prevent their citizens from seeing what they deem as anti-government websites like Twitter and Facebook. There's no due process in this entire scenario, and there's no possible recourse for us to prevent our site from going down. So we would be completely unable to bring you content because, some jerk didn't know that we didn't have the right, or that we have the right to play that song. Never mind the fact that this would eventually get cleared up. There's really no guideline for how long this process is going to take. There's nothing that's going to, give us an ability to recoup the lost revenue from the downtime. There's really no recourse that the content holder has other than to just sit there and wait. Worse yet, though, if we're hosting our content on another site, like, say, YouTube, and DOJ determines that they didn't do enough to prevent the users from posting infringing content, they're going to get shut down. Do you think that's worth it for YouTube, for Facebook, Twitter, which are all services that billions of people use? Do you think that they can comb through every piece of content on their sites? Of course not. They rely on the community. More likely, then, these sites are just going to be taken down in the United States, and the internet as we know it is going to be censored and changed forever. Does that hit close enough to home for you? No? Alright, YouTube directors, here's another example. It's pretty well known that Infinity Ward, Activision, etc., they're all pretty much okay with their content being used on YouTube. Hell, in Call of Duty, they created a theater mode for that. Guess what? All that stuff is still copyrighted. Whether or not they choose to pursue us for posting gameplay, that doesn't really matter. Your videos are still going to be taken down under SOPA. You like making commentaries? Me too. Now you see why this is important? I think you should. Now, I'm not arguing that SOPA, is entirely without merit. I'm not advocating on behalf of piracy, for example. In fact, I think, piracy is pretty scumbaggy, and I know for a fact that the YouTube community in general, especially the YouTube gaming community, has a pretty huge piracy problem. We've got a community run primarily by younger people who can't afford the software that's required to run their channels, and thus, many people choose to pirate the software that they need. I'm not one of them, but I know a lot of people who do, and it's a pretty big issue that needs to be addressed. So, is it a good idea to go after the sites that provide pirated content for, the people who look for it? Of course it is. But this bill isn't the way to do it, and the collateral damage it would cause would basically cripple the internet. It's like using a suitcase nuke to solve your roach problem. SOPA is pretty much a bad bill written by rich white men who don't understand the internet or technology, and they're only putting it forth because they're being paid millions of dollars by Hollywood and big industry to do it. Hey, it is what it is. Let's call a spade here. You want rich white men who don't understand technology governing the internet? I know I don't. If you think I'm being too harsh here, let me give you an example from my life. I work for the government, the same people who are writing these bills. And, every year we have to do a computer security training. Every year there's a section in the training about piracy and about file sharing because they want to stress how dangerous it is to share files with other users. The examples they give? Kazaa, Napster, BearShare. Who the hell uses Kazaa? These are the people who are writing this bill. They're completely out of touch. They don't have any clue what's going on the internet. They don't have any clue what they're talking about. And if we don't do anything, we're going to be letting them dictate what we can and can't do on the internet. Is that all right with you? I don't think so. Now, in the last few days, we've seen some great signs. First and foremost, we saw a letter come out from the White House opposing SOPA and anything representing the current form that it's in. So people are starting to think that this might not go through. I guess that means that we don't have to do anything, right? Think again. There was no direct veto threat in that letter. There's nothing on there that says, hey, we're going to veto this if it gets passed. For example, the president recently signed the National Defense Authorization Act, which had that clause in it about detaining U.S. citizens that are suspected of terrorism. It had a huge uproar against it, a lot of media attention. The president said he opposed it, except when he came out and signed it, all he did is say that he had reservations about signing it. Newsflash, people, he signed it. That's becoming a law. Whether he had reservations or not doesn't matter. Unless the office of the president comes out and says that they're going to veto the legislation, their opposition means very little. Now, with Blackout Day on the national news cycle, there's a bunch of co-sponsors of PIPA and SOPA that have come out and withdrawn their support for the legislation. That's great, but guess what? These things come and go. If it falls out of the national limelight, chances are that the momentum that we're gaining today and in this week will slow down, and we're going to be right back where we were right before this thing finally comes up for a vote. So, what can you do? First of all, stop with the little hashtag tweeting nonsense. It does absolutely nothing. Get off your ass and stop signing online petitions because those don't matter either. Stop sending form emails. Nobody gives a crap about those, and I can say from personal experience, they aren't effective in getting congressional staffers' attention. What does help? Give your congressman's office a call, like with your phone, and tell them what you think. Read up a little bit about the topic, know what you're talking about, but, give them a call. That's the number one single best thing you can do to help. That's positively going to make a difference, and I know from working in politics that is a huge deal. Secondly, write a letter or an email. That's fine too. But just don't sign your name to like a form letter. Tell them how it affects you. Tell them about what the real effects of this bill are, the real people it's going to be hurting, and tell them how it's going to hurt you. Give them your honest opinion on it. Don't just let somebody else speak up for you. Use your voice. If you can't do that, if you don't feel comfortable, speaking with them in person, okay, go ahead and send that form letter. That's the least you can do. Anything other than that, you're just making an ass of yourself, and you're better off, I don't know. All you're doing is making yourself feel better like you did something. You didn't really do anything, though. The best thing that we can do in a representative democracy is contact our representatives. Tell them that their constituents believe that what they're doing is wrong. That's important. That's how democracy works. And if this thing goes through, the people who have been doing this hashtag crap and thinking they've done enough, you're the people I blame. You didn't get off your ass and do anything. This isn't a partisan issue. It's an issue of freedom. Stand with me today and oppose SOPA, PIPA, and internet censorship. For more information on the topic, visit AmericanCensorship.org or do yourself a favor and read the bill for yourself. Thanks for watching, and let's kill this bill. Thanks for watching. This video is part of the Way movement. We are YouTube. For more information, visit tgn.tv.